Naki, welcome to the Group X podcast. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and have a chat with you.
Awesome. I'm excited to get to know what Masala Bhangra is about. I've done a little bit of research, and that was when I was Googling and I found and reached out, but I'm so grateful to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about what Masala Bhangra is?
Of course, I'm happy to do that. So if you look at the name of the program, Masala means spicy and Bhangra is a form of dance. So just looking at the name by itself means spicy dance. So you're in for something a little bit special.
Yeah.
So it is an Indian dance-based fitness program that takes inspiration from both Bollywood movies and from Bhangra, which is a folk dance from northern India.
Okay.
So Bollywood, we all know about Bollywood movies. It's a little bit cheeky, a little bit flirty, and that element of it allows us to express, the feminine side of ourselves.
Yep.
Whereas Bhangra was traditionally done by men at the conclusion of the harvest. So it's a dance full of joy and excitement. But as a result, it is a dance that is very energetic and strong. And through that, it allows us to express, perhaps the masculine side of ourselves.
Yep.
I mean, it's danced by women as well,
Yep.
but you've got that history
Yeah.
that then, why you've got the masculine side of things. So, between the two elements kind of gives you everything, really.
Totally. I love the fact that there is the history of the community, or that vibe that's around what it is. To me, being able to bring that into fitness, I think, is absolutely fantastic. How did it come about? Where did it all come from? Where did it start?
I'm glad you asked. So it's been around for about 23 years. The program was developed by a fitness professional called Serena Jain, who lives in New York. She is an American of Indian descent. Through a personal family tragedy, she felt the need to try to develop something that would encourage people to move in a very accessible way. The program is something that anybody can do, all ages, all abilities. And so she developed this program, but she also wanted to pay homage to her cultural roots. So that's why she took these two elements and brought them together in a program that would then be able to be shared very easily. And in fact, since she developed the program, it's not only gained a lot of traction in the US, but also in pockets of Europe, and very surprisingly in Japan, in the Middle East, and Malaysia. It's sort of very, very odd to see where it's gained traction. Oh, and of course in Australia. Sorry, I should have mentioned that as well.
Yeah. And we're going to help get it out here in Australia more. But Japan, that intrigues me, that an Indian inspired program is actually working really well in Japan. I love that, though, because it shows the diversity, and also the market that it's capturing doesn't just need to be from within the community. It can be
100%.
anything.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously there will be various demographics that are going to be more inclined to take on the program, but that doesn't mean that you are limited in any way, shape, or form. I mean, even within our instructor base and in our master trainer base, we've got all kinds of cultural backgrounds represented. So it's great to see that it's a program that has such wide appeal.
That was something I looked at the website earlier on this morning before our chat, and the instructor base that's actually on there. Now, I don't mean this to sound bad in any way, but I was shocked, because I'm new to the understanding what the program is. But the amount of trainers, master trainers that you have and presenters that you've got on that website is huge. And as you said, the diversity of nationality that's on there as well just made me smile, because it's inclusive, the inclusivity for everybody. It's not just the Indian culture. It's I could do it. I could go and do it. And I think that's the thing that I love about so much about understanding it, is that it is open to absolutely everybody.
Absolutely. And I would love to see you doing a class sometime, Tony.
There's a challenge that's been set
mate, there. Take it as you will.
It might take me a little bit of time, but you never know. You never know, people. I may get into it.
Well, next time you're in Melbourne.
I will. Look, I've got family down in Melbourne, and we'll be down around Christmas, so you just never know. You may get a phone call, and
okay.
We'll see how
Counting
it goes.
on it.
I love the music as well. I jumped onto Spotify this morning and just typed in Masala Bhangra, and a playlist came up. Now, the music is not my normal music that I would listen to, but I'll be honest and say I listened to maybe 20 to 30 seconds of most of the tracks, and I started smiling.
Mm.
It's something, as you said, with the Bollywood side and the Bhangra side, it captivated me to sit for a little bit longer of a normal music that I'd normally skip past, to go, wow, there's something in this that, as you said, makes you want to move.
I think there's also that joyful element because, as I said, Bhangra was historically danced, as a dance of celebration, and you've got this drum beat that goes throughout the music. The drum is called the dole, big drum, and you keep getting this beat that goes throughout it, and it's quite hypnotic.
Yep.
That's what gets you moving, but it also makes you feel joyful. So that those two elements. So traditional Bhangra music is wonderful in its own right, but we've also got a very skillful mixer, shall we say, DJ, in amongst our master trainer group, and he puts together a fantastic mix of music sort of once every quarter that's released to all the instructors, and that even includes some elements of current music. So it means that you've got that familiarity. You might hear something and you go, hang on a minute, I know that song in amongst the Bhangra beat. So it's very cool.
This morning listening, there was something that sounded very similar to an Ed Sheeran track. And that's why I started to smile. I was like, hang on a second, this is, wow, okay, I can gel with what's happening here because I can understand that whole concept of familiarization, but it's different in itself on what it actually is, which I believe would be one of the big attracted points for instructors and also for members.
Absolutely.
Coming in as well.
Yeah, no, the music, I think, is whenever you're talking about a dance-based fitness program, the music is key. The music is obviously the driving force behind the program. Yeah. And so it's very important to get that right. And I think we're very lucky that we have got this wonderful, source of music to help us, with our classes.
This is the Group X podcast.
How did you get into Masala Bhangra? How did that eventuate for you?
Oh, that's a nice story there, Tony. So I have been teaching dance-based fitness for 10, 12, I've lost track now, but a number of years. I was very lucky that one of the master trainers from India happened to come over to Australia, and they ran a master class. Sorry, that came out wrong. A master class, which I was fortunate to be able to participate in. And instantly I was hooked. I just said, this is such a great program, because it was easy to do, but I felt like I was getting such an amazing workout. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. It wasn't for a couple more years before Serena Jain, the creator of the program, happened to come over from New York, and she ran an instructor training here. I was probably the first person to sign up.
Yep.
Said, right, this is it. I'm doing this. And I haven't looked back. I then kind of got into the hustle mode because it doesn't have the marketing, behind it in the same way that other dance-based programs may have.
Yep.
It was one of those things that I kind of went to the gyms that I was at and said, look, we've got this wonderful program. Give me a shot. Let me do it as a special one-off, and see how members take to it. And it was, sold out. It was, everybody came and everybody loved it. And it was just, we haven't looked back from that point. So gradually, so that was 2016.
Okay. Yep.
So since 2016, we went from one class. We now have 11 weekly classes in the southeast suburbs of Melbourne. So, it's fantastic that we've been able to get to that point. Obviously, it has taken a long time, and it would be nice to see the program grow at a faster rate, which is why I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to, chat with you, because I think that will give us an opportunity to make it a little bit better known.
Yep. Now, I love the fact that now when you say that it's in southern Melbourne or the southern areas of Melbourne, in chains, or is it run sort of like in community halls, that concept? How is it?
Both.
Where,
Yeah, we've got it started off in gyms,
Yep.
and we've now got representation in a number of different gyms, not just chains of gyms, but other ones that independent ones around.
Yep.
And I personally also have one in a community centre. So,
Okay.
so
So it can be run. It can be run anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Very easily to do. Very easy to do.
I like that. I think that's I would say a selling point for the program. You know, if I was to try and help you push promote it here, that it can be done anywhere. It can be done in gyms. It can be done in halls. It can be done virtually anywhere. You know, if you're running it in the school hall or the community hall, wherever it may be, the fact that it can be done in that way, I think is yeah, fantastic. I think there needs to be more programs like that available to us all, especially, you know, since what happened over the last couple of years. We won't talk about that thing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Glad you're avoiding that.
But it's gone. But I think that sort of led us in our industry to look at different things, look at different ways to be engaged, and as you're saying, with the community, getting them engaged and being able to do something as well, I think is, yeah.
I mean, I might be biased, but I always think that anything that involves dance is always going to be a winner, because, you know, people dance of their own accord. You know, people dance around their own kitchens. And I think having that opportunity to dance in a community type setting, you know, whether it be in a gym or a community hall or whatever, but dancing with others always creates that wonderful energy that I think, you know, that there needs to be more of.
Yeah. Were you involved in the fitness industry prior?
So yes, so since 2011 was my you know, sort of first foray into group fitness. Prior to that, I'd had several other careers, and to be honest, this was only supposed to be the filler, because I was working as a freelance writer and a freelance photographer, and both of which don't have consistent work. So you know, I thought, you know, find something to you know, the plan B, the filling in, you know, fill those troughs in the normal thing, and then it's just taken off from there.
Awesome.
Which is you know, fantastic.
Yeah. Haven't looked back.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's
So tell us.
Sorry, I was going to say it's a very fulfilling area to be in.
Look, I think the fitness industry is, you know, my background, I come from corporate up until 2002, 2003. I was in telecommunications and IT, and I stumbled across the gym because I was like, I want to go and do something. I put on a bit of weight. I need to get fit, and it's infectious. Yeah, I started going before work and after work, and next thing you know, I was leaving work and going over there to do PT full time and teaching classes, and yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And the amount of people, I think I love the amount of people you meet along the way. There's never a bridge that gets burnt, because you don't have to. It's not that. It's just you're meeting people, experiencing things with people, and as you said, seeing the smile on someone's face when they're doing exercise with you or next to you or in front of you. That's infectious.
100%. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. You get eye contact with someone and smile, they smile back. You know, unless they're in a really, really bad mood and they're just going to go, I'm not ready to smile at you right now. You know, it's infectious. It happens. And I think, especially with dance, to me, I love the fact that you dance like no one's watching.
That is my motto.
Yeah. Just doesn't matter who's next to you. They're having fun too. They're not looking at you going, I have this thing. I can't dance. Yeah, I've tried many dance programs, and I do the dad sidestep. Yep, I'm just the dad that, I'd stand there at a blue light disco and just be moving side to side going, yeah, this is fun. You know, I've tried, and I just don't. I don't have groove and rhythm in that way. Well, I don't think I do anyway. But I would be the type of person that would sit there and sort of hold in the back room and sort of be like, no one look at me. You know, I'm doing this with you. I'm here. I'm feeling the energy. I'm doing this. But that would be something that I would say to anyone that's doing that. Let the inhibitions go. Just be part of it. Be present in the room and have some fun with what's going on. Put a smile on. No one's looking at you. They're looking at the instructor, following what's going on, seeing what the move is next.
But you know what, Tony? Masala Bhangra is actually created for people like you, because you don't have to be a dancer to be able to do it. You just have to follow a beat.
Yep.
And you know, that side step that actually leads into steps that we do, you know, so it is not, don't feel that you have to be a dancer to be able to do Masala Bhangra. Follow that beat and you're
Talk
fine.
us through the format then of the program and how it actually works. Is each, like, how many tracks are there that you go through? Is there a different format for each track? Is there a different format for each release? Tell us as much about that as you possibly can.
Absolutely. No, look, I'm happy to do that because that's exactly what we're not. Um, if I were to use a quick descriptor, I'd say it's a bit like old school aerobics because what it does is, or the way it works is we have a warm up at the start, cool down at the end. Yep, standard. As we work through the program, you learn a move, you learn a second move, you put the two together, learn another move. So it's that add-on formula.
Okay, yep.
And it's a 32 count format, so it's just a continuous rhythm of music or continuous flow of music, and you just keep adding on, adding on, adding on until at the end you've got a routine, an entire routine. And then we have what we call our Masala Bhangra jam, and it's an opportunity to perform the routine. So, you can transport yourself out of whichever suburb you happen to be in. Imagine yourself on the set of a Bollywood movie and you perform the dance. And I think that is the point at which you then really capture everybody's joy because they have been working hard the whole way through, and then they suddenly go, hang on, we've learnt this entire routine in 45 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever it might be, and they're often in awe of the fact that they've managed to do this. I like to bring in a little bit of kind of some hand scarves. That's how we do it. We, put on some hand scarves, and then they wave their way through the dance, and they just feel as if they are totally transported elsewhere. They love it. They have a blast. We shout a lot. Actually, I should mention that. We do shout a lot. So every now and again in a Masala Bhangra class, you will hear the instructor shout out, "Bale bale," which is our way of saying, "Woohoo!"
Yep.
And then the group repeats that. They shout it back. So it's one of those ways that you just generate that energy. You raise the energy in the class, but also I often say, I'm also checking just to make sure you're still breathing.
Yep.
We don't want anybody collapsing on us. So so that's that. All of these things, they all combine to create this atmosphere of joy and celebration. So that's how it all comes together.
I love it. I love the fact that, you know what, I know I could do that.
I know you could.
If it's adding on and it's starting basic, it reminds me of probably the first time that I started looking at group exercise, and when I went and did my Cert 3 for fitness, and I had to do the group instructor module, that I had to design a freestyle aerobics routine. And I love the smile on your face there because you know where this is going to go. With the guy that has two left feet, I remember marching forward, marching back, and then we added on, and it was only a 3.5 minute routine that I had to do. They needed to see that I was able to do it, get to the end, but then go through the thing again, but explaining and connecting and doing it all. But that was what you just explained is how that routine was for me. It was just a basic walk forward, walk back, add a clap. Walk forward, walk back, add a clap. We're going to go to the side. We're going to come back and then get up to finally doing the grapevine and arms and all that kind of stuff going in there. But it was that layering process, which, if I take myself back 23 years ago, that's where the basics really began for our industry. That's the most complete and easiest form for instructors to teach, but also for members that are brand new to doing any form of exercise to be able to pick something up and feel confident in what we're doing.
Absolutely. I think that confidence is so key, because often with other forms of dance fitness, you've got a routine, which is what you were asking me about earlier. You have a particular track, you have that routine for that track, and then all of a sudden you move on. So people have only just about got it, and then there's something new that they've got to seize on. Yep. Whereas this gives them that feeling of familiarity and comfort, and that's where the confidence comes from.
Yeah. So how many tracks would there be in a class? And how long does a class go for?
So look, generally you'd go for between 45 minutes and an hour, just depending on what the schedule is at the venue that you're teaching at. Yep. Most of my classes, all of my classes are an hour. Yep. So you'd have your 5-6 minutes or so of warm up.
Yep.
Then you spend 45 minutes doing your layering. Then you've got your 4 or 5 minutes of your celebratory jam at the end.
Yep.
And then you cool down, and then everybody goes home and goes, wow, that felt good.
I love it. So there could be the amount of tracks can change per class, per release.
Absolutely, but it's not a per track thing. So the flow, the music is a continuous flow. So it will go, even though it's different songs, it will flow through. So I absolutely couldn't tell you how many tracks there would be in a
Brilliant.
class, because it's just, I use we have what we call a music mix,
yes,
which is put together for us every quarter.
Yep.
And so that runs for 45 minutes.
Yep.
So sometimes I run out of time and go, oh,
yep,
whoops, better go back to the beginning. Sometimes, we just happen to finish it, as it finishes. So
yeah, I like that. Then that's different to, I suppose, the normal, what most instructors would be used to if they're here in Australia, where Les Mills dominant, obviously, and knowing the format of, this track does this track does this, there's 7 tracks, or there's 10 tracks, or whatever it may be. I like the fact that, it's music. You're moving. You're doing something. You don't probably, as you said, you don't know that there were 15 or 25 tracks. It's just continual moving to go through, and that, I think, is cool. That, I think, is different to what we've seen here. But I think that point of difference is something that probably helps captivate people as well.
But it also keeps things moving, because you don't get to the end of a track and then you suddenly stop. It is all, it's ongoing.
Yep.
So you never get that opportunity to stop and go, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not saying you don't stop. I mean, you stop and have a break or whatever, but it doesn't stop. So you just jump straight back into it, and the heart rate continues to stay elevated. So you're not wasting anything by stopping and
You're just going the whole time.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
This is the Group X podcast.
Very cool. So for an instructor, what does training look like? How long is the training? Is it a day? Is it 2 days?
Okay. We've got different levels of training. So in order to become an instructor, you have to complete the level 1 ambassador training, where instructors are known as ambassadors.
Yep.
That particular training lasts for a day. We have a training coming up on the 6th of August.
Brilliant.
Just saying August makes me freak out. I can't believe it's almost there. But anyway, so Sunday the 6th of August, we've got a training coming up in Sandringham, in the southeast of Melbourne.
Yep.
And basically, it's an opportunity for us to cover everything about the program. So we will go through the cultural influences. We'll go through a library of moves, which is what you learn through level 1 training. There is an assessment. So we require our instructors to actually put together a 32 count block of choreography, if you like, using that library of moves, and be able to teach on that continuous 32 count format, because that is something that a lot of people are not familiar with. So sometimes it can take a little bit to get into that flow. And then that's it. So, it's a 1 day thing. It's neat and tidy. We do also have a level 2 training, but not offering that at this point in time. That'd be another day on top of that, or 3/4 of a day. The beauty is that with that level 1 training, there are it's recognised by AusActive, so there are CECs associated with that, which is always handy. And as the Australian Master Trainer, I always try to mentor any new instructors as well. So once you've completed that training, you're not out there on your own. I will always try to help you, get through that kind of introductory phase. Often people come and team teach with me, perhaps taking on the teaching of a particular element of the class or of the routine, just so that they become familiar with how to teach it in that group exercise format. And then they're fly free, which is great. You know, I always get very excited seeing instructors go off and find their own classes and you know, then bring their own flavor to it, you know, because everybody teaches slightly differently. I mean, that's a fact. You know, we're not robots. We're not all going to teach exactly the same way, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. I think the uniqueness of an instructor to be able to bring their own passion and their own flair to something instead of just mimicking what they're seeing on a masterclass filming. Yeah, to be able to understand that, grasp that, but then come in and actually do their own flavor. Yes, you're following the routines, you're following what you've got to, but you need to have your personality in order to connect with who's in front of you. And it's that whole teach to who's in front of you, but make sure it's you that's being real as you teach.
Oh, absolutely. The authenticity of an instructor is so important. You know?
Yeah. All right. The releases, the quarterly releases, or is it quarterly releases?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It is. So a new release will come out every quarter. Yeah. What format does that come out in?
Okay, so that's only released to instructors. So you have to have completed the Masala Bhangra instructor training, the ambassador training, after which you get the opportunity to join the ambassador network, it's called. So it's like any registration that you would have with any fitness program. So basically there's an annual fee, which is, you know, very reasonable, you know, in comparison with other programs. And with that, once you've paid that annual fee, every month a new song is released. So it's called the Song of the Month. There you go. That makes it easy. Which we can use as our jam tracks, so that we have that as our kind of party track at the end of the class. Yep. There is a new move of the month and a new choreography of the month. For anyone who struggles to put choreography together, that's a great opportunity, because then you can look at that and go, oh, okay, it's already been done for me. I can take that and use that in my classes. So those are accessed or are released to instructors every month at the start of the month. The library of move of the month always sits there. It is accessible forever. Yep. Whereas the song is released for a period of time. You then download it during that period, and then it disappears again, ready for the next song of the month. Yep. But the quarterly music mix is released, as it sounds, once a quarter. Yep. And then that also just sits there for a period of time. I think it's a couple of weeks for you to download, and then you can use that in your classes. So
so let's say
resources.
Let's say Tony does this module training coming up on the 6th. Yep.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just envisaging you at the blue light disco side to side. No, I'm kidding. You can do this, Tony.
You're okay. It's okay to giggle, because I tell you, I am too. The thought that, you know what, I would love to actually see a class get done, and you just never know. As you said before, when I'm in Melbourne, I may just
counting on it.
This is the Group X podcast.
The music releases.
Yes.
So if I go and do my training on the 6th, what release do I get? Do I get one that's current, that's already behind, or the one that's coming up?
No, you get the next one that's coming up. So where are we? August. So you'll get the August song of the month, the move of the month, and the choreography of the month. But the next quarterly music mix wouldn't be until October. But we would, you'd obviously get access to something. There would be, I believe there's a sort of a bonus one that sits there. So once you join the Ambassador Network, you would always have access to a music mix that will then give you something to work with, to be able to teach your classes. We'd never, leave you high and dry.
Now, I suppose what I'd like to find out from you as well, what message would you like to get across that I can actually help with the whole thing here? Is there a message that you'd like us to go down a path you'd like to go down, a topic that you'd like us to?
I think what would be great to see come out of this is more people being open to trying something new.
Yep.
Because the name Masala Bhangra is not as well known out here as some other dance programs. Yep. I think it's been very difficult, certainly from a marketing perspective, to try to get people engaged in the program.
Yep.
I think once they do it, they see the value of it. The number of people who come to a class, and even instructors who come to the class and they go, oh, I just wanted to give it a go. And then they go, wow, this is really great.
Yep.
So experiencing it is really the only way to be able to, know the benefits of it.
Yep.
But often people can't go to, instructors can't go to classes. So I just would really love to see people being open to teaching something a little bit different and, with a very wide appeal, because it genuinely is something that is accessible to all ages. The number of the span of age and ability that come to my classes is really phenomenal. I have some people in their 70s, in their 80s doing these classes. They may not do it at the same level of intensity,
Yep.
but they do it and they keep moving. And this is what is so valuable.
Yeah. That was going to be the next question I was going to ask you is, who is it for? Who is Masala Bhangra for? And you've just answered that by there can be young ones in there up to the older population as well, because as you said, it is everybody can do it. Everybody can get in and let their inhibitions.
Modify it as you need to.
Yeah.
But just get out there and move.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for your time and thank you for sharing everything you have done
Not
with
at
us.
all.
Guys that are listening and watching it, jump onto the show notes, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's through the website or Spotify, wherever you find wherever you're listening from. Jump on, there'll be show notes on how you can get in contact with myself, with Naki, and also with the Masala Bhangra website as well. So, yeah.
But of course, there is one thing that I'll have to do before we go, is we just have to test out how well you can do the chant that we do. So I'm going to give this a go, Tony, okay? So I'm going to go, Bale Bale!
Bale Bale!
Woohoo! Good on you, mate. That was awesome. It had power, it had enthusiasm, it had energy. I love that.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
You take care, Tony.